We went climbing and someone noticed him in a hoodie. They were like, oh, Godhead, I've seen this everywhere. And I was like, what the fuck has just happened? I'm Simon.
I'm Tom.
And this is the Godhead story. Where do we start?
Indeed. Where do we start? A story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And so for that reason, let's start at the beginning. And a question of, are you mad? Because in the pandemic, when all this has started, and it's a phrase that we use so much, like, oh, during the pandemic, but in a pandemic, when people are confined to barracks, they're sat at home, they've got nothing to do, they've got to stay in, why would you want to set up a new business?
I honestly don't. I think we're just mad. I think we're nuts. I think we knew what we were getting into. We knew it was going to be a struggle.
When we started it, there wasn't COVID.
Yeah, correct, actually. There wasn't COVID. Was there?
There wasn't, was there? 18 months ago, October last year. Or the year before. Yeah,
COVID was one of the many challenges we faced. COVID didn't necessarily affect it. It was the things that came with COVID. Yeah. Shipping disruption, everyone using Amazon. Yeah. Jeff Bezos. So there's a few things that COVID created, but not necessarily COVID, if that makes sense.
More on that later. Yeah. If you start out at the beginning, everything has to be put in place. So we know we've got the brand, and you've got now the design elements and the look and feel. When it comes to logistics, how did you deal with logistics? Because getting the product to people is important, isn't it?
Big time. Key thing for us was we didn't just want to be national, we wanted to be international. There's a huge demand for what we do all over the world. Everything that happened with COVID created a packaging nightmare in the world. There was a shortage of cardboard, there was backlogs in production, design, packaging. And at this point, we were under so much stress, like trying to get this figured out. Even more in the UK. The UK is a very difficult place to build a brand, where we literally thought, okay, there's problems in all of these chains. Let's just go out and create our own. So through this process, the Nourish Group, which is our umbrella brand, which holding business, which looks after all the different brands that we do, we actually created a packaging, logistics, shipping company to create what we wanted to happen. So one of the many stories of the Godhead brand and COVID is it literally meant we had to rebuild an entire system throughout Europe.
And obviously the challenges that
come with that. Yep.
Most notably, what were they?
Shipping, air freight. Prices have gone through the roof. Cardboard shortage, cardboard prices in England. A new business trying to source things locally and XYZ. Print prices are through the roof at the minute. Everything's just been put through the roof. So for us, we were like, I'm not settling for this. We're not settling for this. The board, the rest of the guys weren't settling for it. So we thought, you know what? We've got the resources here to make our own throughout Asia, UAE, XYZ. And so we did. So through this, we now have our own shipping, logistics, air freight, package, design, print company also.
Tom, did the business grow quicker than you thought it would? Were you quite surprised at how quickly everything kind of fell into place?
I think the name grew quite fast. Just from talking about it and putting the first 2 videos out, the name started to, have traction with it.
We went climbing and someone noticed him in a hoodie. They were like, oh, Godhead, I've seen this everywhere. And I was like, what the fuck has just happened? What the fuck? And I think that was the moment where we looked at each other and we were just like, wow, that's... absolutely amazing how that has happened.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, you're Tom. It was, oh, is that a Godhead t-shirt? I was like, yeah.
Where can I get one? It's like, well, just give us a minute.
Early brand recognition.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, Like,
But it's all been organic. The name, what I think, well, for me personally, I'm so proud of with this brand is it's just like people have felt it and just got behind it. We've not had to people just get what we're trying to do and they fall in love with that. And it's more of a case where people just want to be part of it and help. Like we've got celebrities, massive singers. We've got some really like high profile people behind it that are seeing what we're doing, other brands, and just like, and this is all organic. We've not had to go out and search, they've come to us. So it's like through Tom's videos and the brand in itself, people are getting what we're about, and it's all just organic, which is so rare.
Whilst I appreciate that one of the foundations of the Godhead brand is that we keep it real. You guys keep everything real. And when we say real people, we mean in the literal sense. You know, people that just are not in it for clicks on a social media site or comments on social media. They're in it because they like doing something. And celebrities are normally the coveted sort of like mountaintop. If we can get a celebrity to endorse our product, it's interesting that you say these celebrities have found the brand through the videos. How's that worked on? What do you think it is in your videos, your creative eye? What do you think is attractive to people? It is singing your own praises, and you are well within your rights to do so. Because I've seen your videos and they are amazing.
thank you. I think it's, you know, it's the launch video that we did. It's not really an advert for coffee. It's just an advert for life.
Somewhere through time, we stepped away from why we are truly here on this little blue and green rock, spinning around a ball of fire, and this can go unnoticed in time. But somewhere deep inside, there is a yearning for true connection.
I look at like Hans Zimmer and all that sort of big films that he's done, and the way he's linked everything, the image and the audio and everything, the sound together, and it's like a goosebumps sort of feeling that you get. And
Keyword.
yeah, goosebumps,
Feeling.
it's feeling. Yeah. So I think we're not trying to sell something to people. It's just they get it. It's just they get it. Yeah.
It's not even that. We're not even sold. Like we're just creating things that. The key word in all of this, well, there's two key words: experience and feelings. Like human psychology, people don't go for the thing; they go for the feeling the thing gives them. And Tom's amazing at creating videos that speak to people's feelings. Like Tom's cinematography he'll make you feel like you're in the moment. Some of the videos are like the feeling of inspiration to be able to do that, and that's just, people feel the brand.
Yeah.
And I think that's the power behind the entire thing, really, is feeling.
Is it the emotional connection to the brand as well, Simon?
I think it is personal, definitely emotional connection, but I think it's dependent on different people. Like, I will emotionally connect with a coffee brand because I genuinely value having coffee on my own in peace. The feeling I get from coffee is peace, or connection with people in my social circle, or XYZ that I love and that I want to connect with, So for me, or after I've done something, like after a big surf, been skiing or something like that, the coffee after that moment. So for me, those are the feelings that relate to me, but everyone's got their own different feeling associated with coffee. And I think the beautiful thing with Tom is we can be so multi-dimensional in the amount of stories we can tell over one piece of connection, which is that. And it's literally the best out there, without, so.
We are now so used to capturing images, short video clips of the things that happen to us in daily life. One of the things about the premise behind Godhead is life experiences. It is much more now different to that snapshot of time, that little clip of video. The experiences that we have with things like Godhead are inside us. They're part of us and so much bigger than something we can capture with a camera. Would that be right to say that?
100%. They're always based on feelings. If you look at anything through time or human psychology, anything that we go after is based on a feeling. With everything that we've created with Godhead Experience through to the clothes, like every single thing that we bring in to market now, they're all based on feelings. Every experience has a feeling. And people, at the end of the day, when you really knuckle it down to something, people value the feelings in time. They value the moments.
One of the strongest feelings is a feeling of being left out. So, Tom, you're part of this story. How do you become part of the Godhead Experience story?
Well, from a creative side, so I've been shooting all the video for the Godhead Experience, and we've been trying to tell short stories. You know, coffee is, you can have it as a drink with a friend or up a mountain, or it's so wide, and the stories I've been wanting to tell are trying to get people into doing more outside and doing more with friends. And you know, everything with COVID and everything else, it's kind of been hard to do that, but I think we can hopefully now get back to some normality and, you know, start doing all these cool things again.
We spoke about experiences and emotional experiences. The lifting of COVID is something that we're now seeing as being a reality. And so we can, like you said, get back to those experiences that we like, that mean something to us, and create so much more than just an ordinary memory. Is experiencing an everyday drink like coffee in a great place that much different, Simon?
The real reason why is, I think everyone's got their own individual reason, especially to coffee as well. Like, if you really think of it, like, coffee is the ultimate connection tool. You wake up in the morning, what do? You have a coffee, you sit with yourself. Some people in silence, some people listen to music and the things that they love. Some people will have the coffee and they'll connect with a loved one. They'll have it in bed with a loved one. They'll go out and they'll experience it with friends. So coffee really is the ultimate connection tool. It connects people quite literally to the things that matter most, be it themselves, music they want to create, poems they want to write, songs they want to sing, people they want to connect with. You know, it's a lot of great things happen over coffee. And I really think if you can connect people more to that moment and optimize and create something that's actually optimizing that moment, it's just so much better. Like, it really is.
One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that to experience something, engage with it, and get the most out of it, sometimes we need a little bit of education. Somebody to tell us about it. Why? We've seen with wine, for instance, a sommelier will say, oh no, choose this one because you've got the blackberries, you've got the honey. And you've done exactly the same with coffee. You described it and you said this is what will come through. And creating that experience is just unheard of. So how do we go about the educational steps, letting people know what benefits they can get from fabulous coffee in a fabulous place?
I think one of the biggest things, one of the biggest things I found, from my travels, so I've been traveling the world for years now, and people don't know good coffee. And especially when I come back home, one of the things that really annoys me is the coffees that I've had from coffee farms or from different places in the world, you can't get it here. It's so hard to get real, good, fresh coffee. And even more when you're looking for things even further afield like that, which are like organic, chemical free, you know what I mean? Things that are really sustainable and things where it creates a win-win for everyone. It's really, really hard to get. And with what you were saying with the education thing, for me, the main thing is I genuinely believe and think that people don't know what is out there. And for us, it's how do we open that doorway? People can try some of the rarest coffees in the world. You know what I mean? People can genuinely experience, the key word within this brand, like experience the greatest out there, in short, and bring it to the home instead of having to go to other places for it.
And with that experience, one of the things that obviously is paramount here is that we create that emotional connection to the Godhead brand. It's inspiring us. It's giving us ideas of where can I go and enjoy this coffee. So it's driving that activity, Tom, that you were talking about, where we want people to maybe get back out into the countryside. And sometimes we lack inspiration, but this is an inspirational brand. It's an inspirational coffee. It's going to inspire us to get out there and have coffee in great places. Would you agree?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's funny, from like the first few videos that we did, like my mum would go out and take a coffee with my granddad, and they'd kind of just go for a walk somewhere, and you know, she might not have done that before because she wasn't really, well, not educated, but we didn't really have that sort of love for coffee because she tried crap coffee in the past, and it was just a, you know, a thing you have in the morning just to kind of get you going. But when she tried this, it was like, oh, actually, I'll take this to Grandad, and hopefully he'll like it, and we'll then go and, you know, enjoy a walk out and do that together.
Who in today's modern world is the Godhead coffee brand aimed at?
The misfits. The misfits, genuinely. It's really, we live in a fun time in the world, and I really think it's for the people that really do value the small things in life. Those that maybe don't necessarily fit in, those that have hobbies that stand out, you know, those that are kind of pushing the boundaries, doing things in the world, creating things, singers, X, Y, Z. So those that might not necessarily fit in with the norm, but those that really inspire the people around them to do more and to be more.
You mean the inspirators?
Inspirators, yeah. It made it in. It made it in. The inspirators.
The challenge was to get it in, and we got it in.
It made it into the interview.
If we look at how real that word is, okay, so it may not be in the dictionary, but it's a real world in the Godhead world, because we're inspiring people to do things out of the norm, out of that little bit of a cozy feeling where we may be saying, I can't be bothered today. No, we're saying, no, use this as your inspiration to go and challenge your mind, your body, and the world that you're in at the minute.
Bingo. The world at current's saturated with the influencer world, quite literally. And unfortunately, the world's crying out for real authenticity and community. And for us, it's really important for the brand to align itself with that. We want real people, authentic people, those that, again, really do know the importance of the things that matter, not just to them, but themselves, the world. And that's really who it's aimed towards, in short.
There are a number of chapters in this Godhead story, and the coffee is just one of them. The chapters that are coming in the future are also really exciting. When you think about everyday life, that we do things that we just get used to. Like Tom was saying earlier, you know, yeah, there will be people that still just prefer an instant coffee, but there are also those that think slightly differently, out the box. I want something different. I want the best. And I think the time for material things that are the best are virtually gone. Now it's about what we've talked about from the beginning, experiences and an emotional connection. What else have we got in the pipeline that's coming that can inspire us again?
Do you want to take this?
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah, coffee was just the beginning for it, really. Obviously, we've got clothing coming soon, alcohol after that, and then events. And you know, in a world of like music festivals and food festivals, so why can't there be, you know, an experience festival where you spend a few days and you kind of try different things that you might not have done in the past?
Do you know a really funny story? No one knows this. Like, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a pilot because I wanted to be able to fly people and take all my friends and just go and do crazy experiences around the world. And that's all it ever was. But it's really funny because like the Godhead brand is kind of aligned with that. So like prime example, experiences. We've obviously got the clothing, but for us, like being able to take a stranger to Iceland, which we've just done, and make her friends with some incredible people has just been an absolute highlight of last year, like being able to do that. And again, that, like, for us, the Godhead brand, it's about that. How can we create those experiences for people that might never also get to experience them? Like, how can we create those opportunities and give back to the communities, really? I was just thinking about that then when you were saying it. I was like, do you know what, that's really weird, because for my entire life it's always been around doing stuff like that, but how can we genuinely create experiences which change people's lives, surround them with the right people, make people take that memory to the grave, you know, like the thing that they'll remember for life. I think that's such a powerful thing.
I guess there is always something in people's makeup that makes them do something. We do it, we always have a why. And it is a cliche these days, what is your why? I don't doubt for 1 minute you two have both got whys. Why are you doing this? What are you going to get out of it? But I see an element of reality here. There's an extra edge and there's an extra helping of real being thrown on top. You know, this is not a cherry. This is not a glacé cherry. This is a big dump of whatever it is, this realism. And that really shines through. But I want to know, what is the driving force behind that realism? Why do you want to make it real? What is it that makes you think people crave that realness?
I can nail this. We brought up in a world and a society that tells us how to be, how to act, how to live, how to work, who to love. And a lot of people, if you look at the mental health world and stuff like that, they come to a point in life where things just don't make sense. And a lot of the time it's because we never have gone down that route of looking inwards and going, do you know what's important to me? What makes me smile? What are the things that I want in life? Where do I want to go? And for us, it was so important to create the brand that makes and inspires people to do that. Not just through the experiences of coffee or clothing. It's again, with you saying the education piece, it's also like showing people the important things to them. And the authenticity piece, which you said, is it's lacking so much in today's society, and it's showing in figures around the world, like not just mental health, but like people unhappy in work, people unhappy in the way that we live. And we live in a world that, yeah, where what we might have been told might not necessarily work for us, but there's opportunity out there right now in every single area of the world to go out there and redefine the next chapter of life. It's just some people need the inspiration, the real inspiration, to work out the things that matter to them, to then line up the next chapters, to then have the courage to go and do, to then make that next chapter a reality, really.
We spoke about this earlier, about the modern day social media, about how we are becoming steered and guided to places that maybe we don't know much about it, and maybe we don't want to be there. What I see here is that there is a distinct lack of ego. This is more about you guys seeing people smile through something that you've created. So Tom, I would ask, when you see somebody smile, when you've introduced them to the Godhead coffee, what does that do for you in your heart, your mind?
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, from a coffee point, but actually more from the videos that I've been making. So you go through the comments of the ad we put out, and it's like, I can't believe this is an advert for coffee. It's like,
it's like, holy fuck, yeah, the most inspiring coffee video ever.
Like, so
I guess we nailed it.
That's been my thing from day one. You know, not selling the coffee, it's more just these cool little stories that I've been able to tell throughout. So, yes, it was the coffee advert, but I don't know, it was just, I think I struggle to tell in words sometimes of what I'm trying to say, but shooting videos makes sense, and it's easy, and I can, you know, pick the right music, and like we're saying, and like create how I'm, I guess, feeling, and put it into a visual sort of piece.
There is no doubt, reading you as I think I am rightly, that creative element that you have, that eye that you have. If I could do a really good David Attenborough voice, your videos deserve that voice. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you.
But they do.
Yeah. Well, that's why we had the Wizard.
The
Wizard.
wild.
Yeah. So we got the Wizard
wild
voice
Tom.
for the backdrop, and you know, it just.
And whilst you filmed a sequence for one of the commercials, for one of the adverts, and you know the music that you're going to put to it, if you could choose a voice, would it be that kind of voice? Do you see it as I see it? Because I believe that. I do believe that kind of voice, or maybe an Anthony Hopkins, but it's at that level, because the videos that when I've watched them make me feel, wow, I want to be there, I want to see that. My only route to experiencing it is I'm going to have the coffee, or I'm going to go to the festival, or I'm going to try the alcohol, whichever. So I feel really strongly about that, Simon.
There's a lot of memorable moments, especially the coffee brand. Like, this is the first one we've done. This has got an amazing story behind it, very inspirational story. One of my best moments of getting this produced to the market, XYZ, is when we were creating that video, and like we did the script, and literally the WhatsApp messages of me and Tom trying to do voices. So we were like, connect to what really matters on WhatsApp. For ages, like, is the Wizard voice the right one? Or like, do we need someone else? So it was such a comical moment. It's one of my favourite moments, honestly, of that brand.
Well, we did the first one, didn't we? And the first one worked so well, and then we're like, for the second one, are we going to use the Wizard again, or try something different? And then you wrote the script. You were like, voice notes on WhatsApp, like,
Was it like,
we
right? Are just here in a moment in time? It was like, I can't do the voice. But
I tried the voice changer.
It just didn't work.
It didn't work.
So we had to. We
went back to our Wizard guy.
So we went and hired a wizard voice, because we couldn't do it anyway.
We know a little bit about where it came from, and we know where we are today with the coffee, and we've had a little bit of an insight into what's coming. If I could ask you to describe a painting that is on the wall, and the audience has come in and it's gone, wow. Describe that future of Godhead that is on that painting.
I'm really interested to hear yours on this. For me, it's having a globally recognized brand that's creating the highest quality products and experiences that are not necessarily profit driven, but customer experience, customer smile, customer driven. I mean, for us at the minute, that's what everything's been built on. We didn't create a business for the profits. We created it just literally to make people smile. And that's been one of the biggest things that we've always been behind. Is, for me, I just like to build things that give people an amazing experience that make them smile. And I'd really love to hear yours on this. I mean, for me, I can't wait for us to be doing festivals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it's everything that's me, you know. So it's the outdoor clothing, it's the coffee, it's being out in the woods. It's like, if we wanted to make a ski brand under Godhead, we can go and do that. If we wanted to make motorbikes, we could go and do that. Surfboards, we could go.
Happening.
Like, for me, I kind of look at the Brewdog concepts, and they're doing all this reforestation and all that, and I'd love to get into that, where every bag of coffee we sell, we plant a tree.
Bingo.
And it's Godhead woods, like Godhead woodlands dotted around everywhere. And I think for me, being able to, you know, tell the story of the Godhead brand in 20, 30 years time, and we've created all this cool shit, that's like end game for me.
30 years time, the picture you have of yourself. Are you wearing a suit? Yeah.
Fuck no.
I just dress like this.
Fuck no.
apart from a wedding, just wear outdoor stuff.
There was talk earlier about the aligning with other brands and other things, and some inspiration and some ideas have come from other brands. This is something that is a little bit more action and reality for the ordinary person. You don't have to be a complete loon, a Red Bull loon, for instance, to take part in some of the things that you guys are putting together. And I'm going to use scheming because I like that, because it's kind of trying to do it a little bit under the radar, a little bit until the day when you go, da-da, this is what we've got for you, and we have that big presentation. Things that you'd like to do, Simon, the epitome of the Godhead brand would be XXX. What would it be for you?
The epitome for creating communities is literally in the what I said before, a globally recognized brand which is creating win-win-win situations for everyone involved, connecting people from all over the world. In a nutshell, that's pretty much what it is, giving people a community of people. Red Bull has done it incredible. Like, they have gone to the extremes. Godhead is more the Red Bull for, I don't want to say real people, but for real people. It's Red Bull for, if Red Bull and Mountain Equipment had a child, or Deus, it'd be us.
It's like the climbing series. So I'm off to Yosemite in like 3 weeks to film 2 lads climbing up El Cap. We've been shooting it for the last 12 months, and
all from coffee.
All from a coffee.
All from
like,
coffee.
oh, we thought, it'd be cool for them to have a coffee like halfway up El Cap. Yeah. Like, right, okay, how do we make that happen? Yeah. So they're just 2 normal lads with jobs and a love of climbing, and they thought, you know what, we're going to try and do this quite challenging thing. It's not an easy route, and let's go and see if we can go and do it. So for me, being able to capture these little moments of, you know, your normal people doing amazing, cool things, that's
Bingo.
the sort of the thing we can work with.
We've spoken about the brand, its position, where it wants to be, what it wants to do, what it wants to achieve. We've not spoken about you two, you know, the Simons and the Toms, and how you two met, and how the dynamic between you works, and that synergy, if of course there is any. It's just a question. How,
I fell in a canal.
If there was nobody around, Tom, and it was just me and you, how would you describe Simon?
2 hours after I met him, he slipped and fell in the canal in Manchester, in Castlefield.
In duck shit. Just covered.
And I think from that moment, it was like, okay. Yeah. But it was a real dilemma, because I had my camera, and then I was like, do I help him, or is he going to pull me in as well? So I was like, go on.
In my defense, I took that like a champ.
Yeah, you did.
I was just like,
carried on.
fuck it, we're going to change the carry on. But yeah, it was a fun moment. Photo shoot, I literally slipped. So bang.
I think on that note, we don't, people that we work with, we don't normally sing their praises to their face, do we? And what I wanted this little bit to be is about, you know, letting each other know that, you know, you care about each other, and you want to take this to that level where you can both sit back and go, wow, what an experience we had creating the Godhead brand. How would you describe Tom, Simon, if he wasn't sat there, how would you describe him to somebody else?
Stoic. Tom inspires me because he is so, I can't explain it. You're a very stoic person. Like the way that you're just so still, you're observant, you see everything, you hold back, and
my mum says if I was more laid back, I'd be on like flat on my back.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'm very far right brain, he's very far left, if that makes sense. So like, it's a literally yin and yang situation, is insane. I think that's why we work so incredibly well together, you know. So it's like, put it this way, in my eyes, when something's happening, if I look at Tom and go, is Tom stressed? okay, now we've got a problem. Like when Tom's emotional, I'm like, yeah, this is bad. So that's how it kind of works, really.
Anybody to trust your brand, they've got to trust the people behind it. And I think one of the reasons for asking that question is people have just had a glimpse of the real Simon, and they've just had a glimpse of the real Tom. And in creating a brand, that is part of the package, isn't it?
100%. And I just want to be 100% clear on this. GØDHEAD isn't just me and Tom. We've got people from all over who have helped us to do this, and they deserve as much praise as we do. I mean, we're UK team. We've got a team in Asia. You know what I mean? So we've got people all over the world who have really helped us do this. And it's like I said, it's only just getting going now. But when we get into full swing, I mean, at the end of the day, launching one business in a COVID shitstorm was hard enough anyway, with everything that went wrong. But trying to launch 6, it's been a hell of a challenge. We've enjoyed it, and with everyone on the board, it's been fun. But it's brought everyone so close together, hasn't it? Like,
well, it's opened new doors as well. Like, yeah, it's maybe taken a bit longer, but we're at a way better place now than if we launched 12 months ago.
Yeah, 100%.
So I think everything happens for a reason.
The amazing thing is, in the eye of a shitstorm, everyone stood up, got tighter together, more shoulder to shoulder, and we just ran at it. It's like, we're not going to let this. In business, it's what's the famous saying? It's a business doesn't fail, people fail the business. And it was amazing when we were faced with a multitude of issues. We got closer and we ran. We ran, found a way through it. We overcame the obstacles, built new systems around it. So
I've seen that both of you, I mean, just talking then, Tom, about Yellowstone, which you're off to in a couple of weeks. You've also told me about some of the other places you've been, and Simon, obviously following you, I know where you've been. Is this a little bit of we've had some great times, we've been to some great places, we've done some amazing things. You now want to see other people smile because of what you do. Is that right to say?
Yeah. A lot of the feedback I've had from media when I've done stuff is like, I'd love to go and do that, you know, and with a lot of the things we've got coming, it's going to be amazing to be able to take people to go and do that, or give people the opportunity to win things to go and do that. And yeah, I just can't wait for that, you know. It's
Tom?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I was saying, back from day one, it's been not just us, but giving not people less fortunate is a bad term, but you know, just people who need a break or just want something different to do. And you know, we've kind of recognised that we do have an opportunity to be able to show people things that they might not have seen before, maybe. I mean, I feel quite privileged having grown up in an AONB and countryside, and I feel quite, you know, taking people to the woods and making a coffee there, or going, like, staying out, camping out overnight, because it's not stuff that people necessarily normally do. So being able to do that, but as a community, and build up a real sort of following of us, I think that would be really cool.
There are two things that are standing out here for me as an observer on the outside. We've got Simon, who is the voice of the brand, and we've got Tom, who is the eyes of the brand. You create the images, you create the narration, and for me there is no better story when that marriage comes together of words and visuals. And it's just testament to a brand that I feel is destined to just be there for people and to create these incredible moments in people's lives, to enjoy them and to emotionally connect, but also to have something other than it's a digital file on a drive. The thing inside your head that you can look back on in a split second anytime you want. There's no lag, there's no syncing, it's just there. And for me, that's what the GØDHEAD brand, from my experience today, has given me. And for that, I thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It means a lot to hear that as well, because you're getting what we're doing is.
One of the things we wanted to do in this conversation was be real with each other. And something that I know, Simon, you're aware of, altruism. If I can't look at something and be honest with how I feel about it and think about it from my point of view, but bringing other people in to appreciate something we've made, I mean, I can't wait to go home and watch Tom's intro video again on my 27-inch iMac. I need to see it in that full 5K. I just, and by the same token, sat in the car for another 20 minutes with you now, Simon, is a bit of time for reflection on what we've done today and what we've talked about. So I'm feeling part of it. Does that make sense?
And that's what we want everyone to feel. People don't feel part of anything these days, and they don't feel like they belong. And that's another one of the big things behind this brand.
And it's left me again, but when we were sat earlier having a chat, there was the in the moment. Give it me again.
A connection to a moment in time.
And then there was the experience or experience the moment as well, because everything now is, like I said, a digital file or it's a post on Facebook. I want to be involved and drinking the coffee, sipping that alcohol, going on that trip, going to the festival is me becoming involved with the brand, and that's what is really infectious.
It's an experience in a moment.
That's it. The simplest form, an experience of, like, you can look at anything through a TV screen, but you've got to go and see it with your own eyes and feel it. It's the same with this. It's the same with GØDHEAD. It's the same with everything that we do,
And whilst we said at the beginning, there is, in a story, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Today, we've only listened to the beginning. I'm looking forward to the middle, and I'm looking forward to just seeing what else is to come. And for that, I thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to it, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for this as well. Do you want a coffee?